I'd like to start off by saying thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate all the support. If you don't know me, my name is Czudak. I'm an environmental bio major here at Cazenovia College. I'll be talking to you today about calcium concentrations in Throughfall under Shagbark Hickory. We have to first understand exactly what is Throughfall. So by definition, Throughfall is the rain that comes through the canopy, and then after that it has a couple different options. It can land on vegetation, can go right into the sediment, as well as it can evaporate back into the atmosphere. Everything uses water, we know that. There's a bunch of vegetation under canopies that rely on this, and we need to know exactly what the chemical makeup is. We have seen a couple different relationships in the past. One being there's a decrease of 66% in nitrate in honeysuckle trees in Throughfall, as well as increased calcium levels, and it has an increase in salamander population under trees. We also need to understand what exactly the difference is between evergreen and deciduous trees. Starting off, evergreens are your spruces and your pines. Deciduous trees, like shagbark hickories, drop their leaves at the end of the year and grow new ones each year. That went into account when we chose our species. Shagbark hickory trees were chosen because not only are they very common, everybody knows what they are. With a little bit of practice, you can identify them yourselves. But also, they drop their leaves at the end of the year and grow new ones. We wanted to see the relationship between the beginning to the middle to the end. They also have a very high surface area. When I was choosing my species, I wanted to choose one with a high surface area because the higher the surface area, the more chances that a raindrop could impact it and then possibly fall into the buckets. We had a total of 4 different collections over the growing season. First, the 2 were in July, 2 were in August, separating those 2 by late and the middle parts of the growing season. We wanted to try and do the end of the growing season, but unfortunately, it was a dry year, and with coming back to school and going home to try and switch out buckets, it just wasn't doable. We were lucky enough to have this on 12 acres of private property located in Hammondsport, New York, and in the furthermost left picture on your left, you can see that the forest that we're using is mainly deciduous trees. The middle picture shows what the buckets look like. We chose 5 different shagbark hickory trees, all within the same DBH. The only thing we could not change was the canopy size. So we have buckets facing out 3 feet away from the trunk, 5 feet from the trunk, and then the drip line. Unfortunately, we can't control the drip line, so that just has to be an indefinite number. You can see in the picture to the right, all the way to the right, all the buckets were facing all the same cardinal direction. I believe it was north, to get away the factor of wind, possible messing up the rain, or anything that could possibly mess up where the rain's going. In the field, we collected rainwater in milliliters, and what we did was we brought back a sample of 100 milliliters back to the lab, and then titrations were conducted. This is a little bit different than what we've done in Chem Lab. We use an actual digital titrator, and you can see exactly how much of the titrant you're introducing into the sample. After it changes, you can see there that the sample is blue. That's how we know, okay, it's done. That's how much titrant is enough to be added. And then just some calculations, you can see what the actual calcium content was in that sample. After this, we compared them to each of the control groups. ANOVA tests and t-tests were conducted. And the results were actually pretty interesting. What we can see here is milligrams of calcium per liter. What this shows is, all the way to the left, we have the control, which there's nothing there. And throughout all of them, in events 1 and 2, calcium is almost nothing. Compared to events 3 and 4, nothing overall. We're seeing that in the calcium contents, you're only seeing it through the rainfall, and it's coming through the trees. In events 1 and 4, we have a p-value less than 0.05, showing something statistically is going on. We have to find that relationship out, and we also can compare it to milligrams of calcium meters squared. What we did was we took the total surface area of the actual buckets, did some calculations, and we were able to find exactly what the total area and the total load for a certain amount of time. We also saw a p-value less than 0.05 for events 1 and 4, showing a relationship. If we kind of go back and forth, you can see the exact same thing is going on. Nothing's going on in events 1 and 2, or nothing's going on in events 3 and 4, only in events 1 and 2. Now we have to ask the question of why are we seeing this and what's going on. Throughout the growing season, a lot of leaf tissue is going to change and go from soft to hard. As leaves are expanding, they start off as very soft, and I believe that as the rainfall can come through, it can possibly be leaching off any chemicals, including calcium and any other chemicals that we didn't test for. Going later in the season, as it hardens, this would explain why Sorry. This would explain why the leaves hardened and we weren't able to see any calcium concentrations later in the season. We also need to think about long and short shoots. Short shoots are short shoots that don't actually grow in the season, and once they're done growing, that's it for the season. Long shoots, they continue to grow, and they actually see a flush of calcium and nutrients to the leaves to try and grow more leaves or to increase photosynthesis. Unfortunately, like I said, it was a very dry year. I don't think we were able to have enough nutrients for the tree to try and produce more leaves to produce more photosynthesis. I believe that it would be very interesting to keep going with this and to keep moving on. I believe if we went through the growing season towards the end, like in the winter, we wouldn't be able to see much going on calcium-wise, but I think it'd be interesting to see before and after. I think if we were to continue this, it'd be interesting to begin the beginning. Before the leaves even come out, unfortunately, we were all still in school, so we couldn't really continue that. And then also to be there every day, so you weren't able to miss any possible collections or any variables that could have messed you up. I want to thank you guys all for listening today, and I'm open to questions.